Just wait for a few more people to pop on in the meantime. I'm waiting. I'm just putting some adhesive sheet onto some Mary Merlot cardstock. Oh. Did the wrong side. There we go. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Trying to use up some of my little bits of adhesive. Keep one more out. Hi Jill, thanks for joining me today. Oh, here's another big one. Actually, I'll just cut this up. Hi Terry, hi Deborah, thank you guys for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I'm just putting some adhesive onto the back of a Mary Merlot panel. I saw a really pretty card that I wanted to make for today. And I have a couple other ideas to share with you with the pearlized paper. So this gives you, you can really see this now. This gives you a really good look at the pearlized paper. So I actually used the seabed embossing folder for this. So you can see it is really detailed. Now, full disclosure, I did run this through 3 times because I couldn't figure out exactly where I had it placed. So I wanted to make sure that I got the whole thing. But it's really pretty. And when you look at it, it does look, it's very pearlescent. It's really pretty paper. But I found, I thought this would be a cool idea since we did a lot of stuff with it on Thursday, whatever that was, afternoon, I think. But I thought embossing, that would be a great thing to do with this paper because it is a little bit weird with ink. So I have a couple of ideas to share with you. My birthday is in the winter. It's after Christmas, which kind of always makes it a little bit hard, especially growing up. And my niece's birthday is after Christmas. Hers is a month after, but still makes it hard when you're growing up that you get presents or even cards. So I thought, let's focus on some winter cards because I know you could still swap these out, these ideas. You could swap these out for Christmas if you wanted to, if you still need Christmas cards. And you can still send Christmas cards. I'm doing it like wedding theme that you can still send it a month after. So it'll be like Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But anyway, the seabed embossing folder is really pretty. But I will say, Jill, if you were talking about the new bundle, it is really pretty. I can't wait to use that one because it's a little bit more grown up without like the whales and stuff. But really excited about that. One other thing I wanted to share with you guys before I get started, I forgot to mention this the other day, is that I'm going to be doing a contest. And the contest is, I say contest loosely, there'll be 12 days of winners, but what you have to do, oh, happy early birthday, mine's the, oh, yours 27th of December, Karen? Clarify that for me. If so, that's an extra stinker. That's really hard. I'm going to be doing 12 days of giveaways for after Christmas. So it's going to start on the 26th. And the way that you enter is there's going to be a Google form that's pinned on the top of my Facebook page, since that's where I have the most followers. But in order to be entered, you actually have to go to YouTube. You have to subscribe, like a video, and leave a comment. Doesn't matter what. You can enter once every single day. Oh my goodness, December 21st is yours, Deborah. Holy cow. So in just a couple days, well, happy early birthday. Mine is January 11th, so I have a little bit of time. But anybody that was like December, a couple days, or the day after Christmas, boy, you're really getting the shank. So you definitely need some winter cards. Oh, well, happy early birthday to you as well, Karen. So for the 12 days, basically, like I said, there's a form. It'll be on my Facebook page. All you have to do is come over to YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you like a video, leave a comment on a video. It doesn't matter what video. You could leave it on the same one. You can root around for some old ones. But what I am trying to do with this contest is essentially to bump up my viewership on YouTube because I don't have as many viewers here. So Carmen, your granddaughter's the 30th. Yeah, that's, you know, I have a friend whose birthday is actually New Year's Eve. So she has like the best party birthday ever, right? Everybody's always celebrating on her birthday. That's probably a great one. But the day before, not so much, right? So I'm just essentially trying to increase my viewership here on YouTube. That is what this contest is for. So if you have a friend that you think might like this channel, invite them to subscribe. They can fill in. And I'm giving away, I have lots of stuff. I have retired stamp sets. Once I get them all packaged, I'll put pictures of the packages, but it's going to be a bunch of stuff. I have stamp sets. I have embellishments. I'm trying to get rid of the old so I can bring in the new. That way we'll have new things to give away as well. Lots of really fun stuff on there, but you do have to go through the steps to be able to enter. So if I pull your name and I see that you haven't gone through and done it, then you will have to be disqualified. So it's not too hard. Most of you probably already follow me on YouTube, so that's one of the steps there. And probably most of you have at least liked something at some point, so you know how to do that. So just give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. That's essentially it. So that will be the 12 days after Christmas. So every single day after Christmas, you can enter one time per day. So you can enter, you do have to fill out the form, but one time. You have to fill the form just once. But if you enter once a day, I will pull winners for every single day afterwards. So the less people, the more likelihood you might be getting a prize. So make sure you go on there. You never know. You could be really a quick winner. So today I'm going to use a couple different things I have out, and they're kind of mixed items. I have Forever Fern. That is the one card ID I saw that was absolutely beautiful. And I have also, just in case, Tasteful Touches, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I also got out, and this is just an idea for the pearlized paper, Friend Like You. I think the dies, specifically the wildflowers and then the cattails, you probably could do it with the beach scene as well. I think they will look really cool die cut with this paper. Be really, really pretty. But this also has a nice happy day. You could totally make this into a guy card by using Palette Thoughts. I also have Peaceful Moments because I love the happy birthday on this. So that is my happy birthday. And then one other thing I wanted to show you. Did I grab it? I thought I grabbed it. Hold on, maybe it's over here on my pile underneath. Oh, this is one another one I saw that was really pretty is Winter Wood. So we're going to make a card with, what was it that I saw? With the Pinewood Plank folder. So I also have 3 folders. I have Pinewood Plank, Subtles folder, and I have the Woodland folder. And I saw something with this that was really pretty. So we're going to make 2 cards today. That is my goal. Anything else will just be a bonus. And then I will also just run a few of these through so you can see what they look like, just to give you a little bit better of a picture. So let me just move a few of these things out of the way. I do want to tell you a couple things I did ahead of time to prepare. I did put some adhesive sheet onto the back of my, try to get this to pop up, onto the back of some Mary Merlot scrap, because I'm going to die cut some of the pieces from Forever Fern, and I have basically the solid images, so I'm going to do that. And then I have the stamped images, and I'm going to stamp them maybe in a couple different colors and put them on. But let me just pop one here one more second. I want to make sure that I can find my thing. Why is it not? There he is. So I can see your comments. Okay, there we go. All right, so everybody's on there. So I'm going to flip you around. So just turn your head for a minute. And all right, so you are settled in. And I think I have everything prepared today, so I'm not doing anything stupid. And I know that's terrible to say about yourself. Okay, so I am plugged in, so hopefully you can hear me. Just set this on the floor. And I'm going to start by showing you, because I think you should be able to see this, the pearlized part of it. It's really, really pretty. You were sweeping. No worries. That's okay. We're just kind of getting started. So this is it really embosses deeply, which I think is really super nice. So I know I have a few friends on here who are Polish. So anyone else may or may not understand this necessarily, but there is something that we do on Christmas Eve, and it's called opłatek or opłatki, and basically it's kind of like a communion wafer, but it's not blessed, and they're really, really pretty detailed, and this kind of reminds me of it. Not necessarily the seabed, but the detail, but they usually emboss them with, you know, the Holy Family or Jesus maybe holding a lamb. So it's funny, and I don't mean in the haha sense, but it's funny because when I look at this, that's what it reminds me of, because this paper is really, really delicate, but it gives such nice detail when it's embossed. So if anybody else does that, take a look at it and tell me if I'm not the only person that reminds me of. I thought it was pretty neat. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to move these over for now. I'm going to start by embossing these 3 papers. Actually, I think I'm going to do a 4th. So I'm going to do these first. That way they're all out of the way. I am going to bring in my Big Shot just because these are larger, and I'm just going to do all these at the same time. So I have the woodland folder, and you know what? I think I might do this one crossways. Yeah, I'm going to do this one crossways, trying to make it so it's kind of even. That's probably one of the hardest part with the ones that don't have the lines across the bottom. And now that I think of it, I think I need my other 2 folders, because this is a regular folder. Yeah, I might even need my thin shim, which I don't have. Let's see. Nope, it's working. All right, so this is one. Again, this is the pearlized paper, and I might do something else with this with the shimmery white, but I wanted to show you this. Look how lifted it is. It really, man, just this with this paper is so, so pretty. I'm going to do a different card with this. I'm going to set this on the side. I'm going to probably do this one after the fact, but this is another one I want to do something with because it's really pretty. But I don't think I can use the pearlized paper because I actually want to stamp something on it. So here is the pine wood. Which way we want to go for this? We're going to go crosswise for this as well. So the pine wood, and this is the Sizzix folder. So these are the old folders that when they were still making with Sizzix. So some of these, should be just the, nope, I'm thinking, is this the blue plate? Nope, it's not. Only ones that are the blue plates are the ones that say just Stampin' Up. So I think I do this every single time, but good practice. So this one just uses, if you're using the old machine, just uses one cutting plate and a regular platform. So here's another one, and it's really deeply embossed. It's so pretty. You guys, if you get your hands on this paper, so this is again one of the Sizzix Stampin' Up ones. So I'm going to do the same folder, or the same sandwich, I mean. So this is Subtles. I really like this one too, just because it's just kind of like a nice soft background, but it does give you a little bit of something. But when you get your hands on this paper, you will be able to see just how pretty it is. It's pretty just as is, but embossed, it really brings out the detail of it. I think it's just because it really highlights the pearl part. And it's so shimmery. It's not like sparkly. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful, beautiful paper. I know I sound like a crazy person going on about this paper, but it really is pretty. So let me move this out of the way, hopefully without making a catastrophe. And I do have my little die cut machine. We'll do that for the rest of these dies. So I have a base. That's for this one. I'm going to do the Subtles folder for this. And then this one is the one we're going to die cut a few things from. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll do a little bit of stamping. So I'll grab this, grab my plates. I do wish, one thing I wish they had some little side something or other to be able to carry these with. That would have been such a good idea to have like something where there was like a little slot here. I don't know how it would have worked, but it would have been a cool idea to be able to slide your stuff in there. And one thing I didn't think, this is a little bit too wide. I'm going to just trim this down, just go right along the edge here where I don't have adhesive. It should be almost narrow enough. Take this piece off too. Yep, there we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have a couple of these. I'm just going to kind of line them up where I think there is at least some adhesive. It doesn't have to be completely covered. So I'm going to do these, do this one and this one. See, now I'm thinking, I'm like, I hope they fit. There's 1, 2. That's probably one of the things you're going to have to be careful with, just in general, is making sure that your dies are fully on where you want them to be. Because this thing, I will tell you, it's super convenient to have it. Let's see, make sure I got everything. Looks like I did. Okay, so pull this out. So the nice part about this is it's already going to have adhesive on it. Make sure this one went all the way through. And it kind of also makes it a little bit easier to get out kind of the die, but also to get the little bits on the in-between out because they'll stick to the release paper. I want to do one more of this one. I'm just going to pop this through one more time. I did a card with this back when, I guess it was probably in September when we were still doing classes, and we did one. It was really, really pretty. And I did the same thing with having the die cut with the adhesive on the back. It just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to pull this out. So that will be for that. So you could save this if you wanted to do, because there's lots of other dies. You could fit some other stuff in there if you wanted to cut it. So I'm just going to put that on the side for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of stamping before we finish up with that. So I think what I'm going to use is I'm going to grab some shimmery white, only because there's some there. If we can find another piece that's kind of, only because I want it to have a little bit of sparkle to it when we stamp, but I don't want it to be too stark of a stark white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this stamp. And we'll do Merry Merlot, and basic gray I think will be a little too dark. We'll do gray granite, and I think we need just a little bit of green. So here is, actually we'll swap this one, and this one, and I think I'm going to do, because I don't want the green to be too dark. I wonder what Just Jade would look like. That might be a little too bright. Might go with Soft Sea Foam. I think I'm going to do that just for like something extra. All right, so that looks pretty good. So that's what we're going to do. So I have those 3 out. Okay, so I'm going to do, I feel like some of these have 2, yeah, a couple of these have 2 die cuts, which is nice too. So I have I think these are eucalyptus. That's what I always think it is. I could be wrong. I'm going to do that twice. I love this stamp set because it is so realistic looking when it's inked properly. I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's so pretty. Okay, so then I have gray granite. I'm going to do this leafy thing here. And I'm going to do 2 in this as well, just because I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. I'm going to see if I can fit 2 on there. Okay. And close that up. And last but not least, I think I might have picked a little paper that's just a little too small. But that's okay. We don't really need the stem. I just really want the top part. Okay. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. And okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back in. I'm going to see what I can do die cut wise to do like maybe 1 or 2 of these at the same time. So here's this one. And oops. Well, my purple tape's not ready, so we're going to go with green tape. Hopefully I won't regret this choice. And this one. Okay. Then, oops, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and tape this guy up. Now my niece, she may or may not be watching. I don't know if she watches me on YouTube. I think it's just on Facebook. Or I could be wrong and she could be watching. But she is going to be 10 this year. So I'm going to have to think of like a really nice, special birthday card for her. And then my nephew, my brother's son, will actually be 10, but not until November. So I have plenty of time for him. All right, so you can see these pop out really, really nicely. They cut out really nice. So I have those two. I didn't really care about the stem on that one. So I'm going to put this one back in, and then I'm going to run that extra one through. So I'm going to just put this kind of right here, almost all the way towards the back. And then we'll put this one in. And then we'll just have to run that through one more time. I am actually not crafting in my PJs. Let me tell you what, for a change, I took a shower today before I stamped. However, I do love this plaid. This is one of my favorite ones. This is part of my so-called winter uniform because I wear, in the winter, I wear plaid, a plaid shirt, a flannel plaid shirt almost every single day. But I do love flannel pajamas. However, I showered for you guys today. I just want you to know I showered and I dried my hair. My teeth are brushed. This is like, I went all out for you today. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but a lot of times, depending on what I am doing in the morning, sometimes I don't. I kind of just am like, okay, from the waist up. That's so funny. No, I did, you know, I was going to, just speaking about the mini cutter, it is nice because it's really small. It's convenient to fit in little spaces, which I think is going to be really nice for a lot of people that maybe have limited craft space because it does close up. The only thing that would be better is if it was the Cuttlebug that I used to have had a handle that folded in, because then you would have the whole thing closed in. But it's really light, and I think it'll be super easy to use for a lot of people that may have either space issues or maybe just can't be lifting a big, heavy machine. However, I do still use my Big Shot for most everything else because I really like it, and I kind of just want to use it as long as I can. It isn't very old, so quite honestly, that's the reason I got the mini and nothing else. Okay, so here is one more piece of shimmery white, which I think I want to do the sentiment. So we could do You Are So Special. I think I might just stick with a regular, this is really pretty too, To a Friend That Makes Me Smile. Maybe I'll do that one. Yeah, I'm going to do that one, and then I'll put the happy birthday part on the inside. So I probably should have left my machine out for one more die cut, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this yet. I might go to a different stamp set and do a different die, because Tasteful Touches has a lot of really nice. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that little one. It'll just add a little bit of something different to it. So I probably should have got one more thing out. Hold on. Let me move this, and then we'll put this together. And I'm really hoping I remember, because I want to. I want to add a little ribbon element to this, just because I think it'll be kind of pretty to just make it like a really pretty, and this totally isn't usually the style I go with, but like a really pretty girly card. I tend to kind of flip-flop. I like a lot of things like really like a natural thing, and I don't usually add like a lot of foo-foo and frill to stuff, but every once in a while you'll get a card, and the design for this was so pretty. All right, so we have that. Move this. Okay, now we're going to put this all together. Okay, so the only thing I didn't do ahead of time is I didn't score this. So we're going to score. So I have this already pre-cut, 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to go ahead and score it at 4.25. One thing you want to remember too is sometimes, and I think I mentioned this the other day, but sometimes when you die cut, even though you cut this to 4 by 5.25, sometimes it shrinks up a little bit. So just be aware, that's okay. It's just going to look a little bit different. Okay, so let me just hit this. And as a matter of fact, the last stamp party, one of my friends that went to, look at this. This will look just as pretty with that, with the seabed. This is a beautiful folder. But one of my friends ordered this Winter Woods bundle. So hopefully now she has some new ideas on how to use it. So I want to grab one more, and you know what? I need one more piece of paper. I think I need a little piece of gray granite. Is that it? Yeah. That's going to be too big, but it'll be big enough that we can trim it down. I think I'm going to go with 3.5. Oops, and that has a smudge, so I have to use the other side. Looks like I got nail polish on that. Okay. All right. Kind of just want something, and my cutter was weird, so I'm just going to smooth this piece out with my bone folder. I want something to kind of back these flowers to, so they stand out a little bit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We have this. We're just going to lay this out for now just to see what we want. So we have this piece here. Kind of makes it look like a photograph, that 3.5 by 3.5 on there. We have our little die cut pieces that we can put in the background. And it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. So remember, I cut extra in just the thinking of in case we had to change something. So I think maybe I'll put this here, this one in the background. We have these other little sprigs. We have some green, little merlot, and then we're going to have this, and we're going to wrap this together with a little bit of ribbon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And do I like one side better than the other? No, not really necessarily. So put some, definitely want to use some good adhesive when you do embossing, specifically with the 3D folders. That way it gives the paper a lot of stuff to kind of grip to. Okay, so we have this, and what I think I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use my mat. That way, in case I need to move something or trim it. So let's just take a peek. All right, so I'm going to, I actually might take some of this off. Let's see. Let me see, I'm going to pull a piece of this. All right, so I'm going to take the back off of this. Now, again, the whole thing doesn't have adhesive. So if that bothers you, you can make sure that it has adhesive all over the back. But quite honestly, it doesn't really need it as long as the majority of it has it. And the cool part is, look, it takes out almost all those little middle pieces. These little white pieces here are the spots where I had two different sheets of, two different adhesive sheets pieced together. So we'll put this one here. Just like that. And the other thing about this is, and it's probably hard to see, but it does even have little embossing on the leaves, which is kind of neat. So I like that too. And I'll put this one up here. Like that. Okay. Then we have, you could have done the same with this as well. We have this little piece. I'm just going to do some liquid glue on here. And this also, remember, we did with the shimmery white, so it has a little bit of sparkle to the leaves. I'm just going to hold that for a second since I have different ones. Oh, the glue holders. You know what? I'll tell you right now while we're standing here. Let me see if I have my little card. These are from Crafters Solutions. I do have a link for them. You can find them on Etsy, or you can find them on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this little doodad off of here because it wasn't really embossed correctly anyway, so I just trimmed that part off. But they are on YouTube, not YouTube, good gravy, Facebook or Etsy at Crafters Solutions, but I almost always add the links if I don't have them for some reason on here on YouTube. They're definitely on my blog, but I will make sure that when I go downstairs I add them on, so no problem. So I'll add a little bit here. I think I might actually put this up on dimensionals just to add a little something. So I'm going to put just a couple dimensionals on here. You can use the little ones if you want to. You can use the regular size. I find the little ones are honestly a little bit difficult for me to wrangle, so I kind of like the bigger size. And I feel like this needs a little bit of something else. I'm going to put a little piece of this in the front. Let's see. We can even just do like a little partial sprig piece because this is a little bit big. Let's see. I'm just going to trim this off because we are going to still put our sentiment on there. So I just kind of took that one little piece that was on the end there. So we can use this for something else. We can even put it on the inside because we're definitely going to need something on the inside with this Merry Merlot. It's going to be super dark. So kind of just put that. So we have like different little layers. And then we'll put this here. But I want to put a little bit of ribbon across here before we wrap up. Ooh, you know what I think? I think I'm going to use, let me just grab it. Let's see what this looks like. I'm just going to kind of hold this down. I don't really like the silver too much. It's just a little bit too much. Let me grab, this one might be nice. This is something that's probably retiring pretty soon, the iridescent ribbon. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this around and I'm going to tie it in just a little knot. So I'm going to get a little something. I'll kind of come back and adjust this after the fact. All right. So one thing about this ribbon, this specific ribbon is, it is a little weird to tie because it's kind of stiff. But if you just take your time, I don't want a bow, I just want a knot. And then we might just kind of slide it off to the side. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to slide this over. That way it'll be kind of down, not down. It'll be kind of over, and then we still have room for our sentiment. I just want it a little bit tighter, and I'm going to just trim just like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a teeny bit of liquid glue under here. That way it'll kind of stay somewhat where I want it. That. And then what we'll do is we're going to pop this up, and we're going to put this right here. And I might trim this just a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to trim it this way. That way that one little piece isn't sticking. Okay, so let me grab a couple dimensionals. Probably one other thing I could have done is maybe embossed that gray layer so it wasn't quite so flat looking. But again, this was just kind of like a work in progress card because I saw this right before we went live. I thought it was so pretty. All right, so we'll put that there, and then we're just going to add some liquid glue. This ribbon isn't too bulky that the liquid glue should impede it, but if you wanted to, another thing you could do is just put this up on dimensionals instead. So we'll just say just like that, and I just want to make sure it's kind of even and straight. So I'm just going to give this a press for a second. Yes, hi Marlene, good morning, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas with Merry Merlot. I could have said I woke up like this. You know what, though? I'm not a very good liar, so I could have. You're right. All right, so I have a piece of Whisper White. You could also do Shimmery White for the inside, but I'm just going to do Whisper White. So to to a friend that makes me smile. And then I have somewhere buried deep down in here my happy birthday. So I'm going to do that. And I tell you what, if you see how I wake up, you would probably have a good laugh. And I'm sure, you know, everybody says that, but I either look like I am very well put together or homeless. There is absolutely no in between with me. And probably I'm making homeless people look bad, which was not my intention, but I am usually pretty rough looking in the morning. I can't find that little other piece I did. What did I do with it? I don't know. So I'm just going to add this little sprig here instead. Just a little something. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And I'm only adding this because we already have it die cut. You could even just stamp this in if you wanted to. Just like that. So it's like really nice coordination. You could have done this in gray if you wanted to also. Just kind of depends on what you're going for. That's kind of how I feel sometimes when I go to Home Depot. Because I always look like a crazy person in Home Depot. It's very rare that I always hope that I never run into anybody I know when I go there, but they probably would be like, oh, that's just Rachel. So there you go, a really nice birthday card. So pretty. So you have a lot of shimmer with the pearlized paper, and I'm hoping that you can see that, and then you also have some with this little iridescent paper. Actually, I think it looks pretty nice. So the gray really kind of brings it calm down, and then you have like these embossed layers. And I'll tell you what, that adhesive sheet on die cuts like that is so super helpful. It's really, really helpful. I love it. Okay, so let us do the other card. And the other one I have is going to be with the pine wood planks, I believe is what it's called. So this one we're going to use the birch trees. So let me see, what color do we, I think I'm going to do this one kind of in the same thing where it really, I want to go with something neutral. And you know, now that I did it like that, I wonder if I'm going to have to go this way. 1, 2, 3. Because this is going to be a little bit, you know, we're going to just make it work anyway. I don't know how this would look, but I'm willing to try. Let's see what this looks like on this, because I love this Just Jade. It's such a pretty color. So let's just do something that's a little bit out of our comfort zone. I probably wouldn't normally go with Just Jade on a card like this, but what the heck? Let's see. I'm going to bring out these two pieces. And I'm going to stick with, let's see here. You know, I might need to actually do for this is to bring out my Stamparatus, because that way I won't have to worry about goofing up the alignment like I did that one time. Okay. So when you do your Stamparatus with certain stamps, I'm going to take out the foam because you don't need that. And I'm going to keep in this paper just to kind of make myself keep track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it here on the very edge. And then I'll be stamping in the same place. I'll just move my paper out, okay? So, and pick that up. So I kind of have that lined up right down here at the corner. I usually pick a corner. That's why I love using the grid paper. And wonder what Just Jade will look like. Let's see. I was thinking maybe more so of going with Smoky Slate. Let's try it. All right, so we're going to go over. That should be about right. It's one square. And I didn't re-ink that second one. And we're going to go over one more. So now, to re-ink or not to re-ink? That is a question. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it. And I'm going to stamp it off just a little. And then stamp it. So it's maybe a little bit lighter, but not too light. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I think we're going to call it quits because I don't want to do too many because I don't want to take up the pearlized paper. So we're probably going to trim this off. So let me move this and bring in my trimmer. And I'm going to cut this so it's pretty close, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Kind of looks like it's about 3.5. That's probably pretty approximate. Hold on. 3.5. And actually, you know what? I'm going to trim it down a little bit. This is going to be one of those really tight ones because what I just thought of, just to make it pop a little bit more, I think I'm going to put a little bit of a layer around it. So I'm kind of just trimming this like right to the edge of the stamped part. Okay, and here. That looks good. All right, so let's see what this ends up being. It's like 2 7/8 by 3 1/4. Okay, without moving, I'm gonna grab a piece of gray. All right, so we're gonna make this. So this will be 3, because it was 2 7/8, because I really just want a super, super thin something. 3, and I said 3 1/4, so I'm gonna go 3 3/8. Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna line just like that. All right. And that's already scored, so I at least have this. Okay, so let's go with our base, and I'm just going to line this up just to see what else we might want to add. So we have our pine wood, we have our birch tree, and how about, as I was saying this earlier, let me see if it's on here. We will go with just this plain happy birthday, okay? You could also do this with this if you were just doing stamping, but we'll go with this very simple, straight line, happy birthday. And since I have a piece of gray, I'm actually going to put it on that. I might use the underneath piece. I want to find a die that's kind of simple because I don't want to make this like too foofy fancy since we did the really girly version. Oh, we'll do this. All right, so I'm going to die cut this. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it first. That way, in case I mess it up, we don't have to suffer through me re-inking it. All right, so we went with gray granite. I'm going to try to aim for the center. Yeah, too light. Too light. No biggie. See if I can still get it down here without it cutting. That should be pretty good. All right, let's try that again. Trying to make sure I cut out that other birthday sentiment under there. Remember, it's only a little bit showing, so we're not too concerned with it. Okay, let me close this up. Look, I'll drop it right in the center of whatever it is that we're doing. Okay, so last time I'm going to grab my little mini. I'm going to cut this out and then we'll put this one together. So you could do the same thing. You could add some ribbon. You could add a little bit more of a masculine ribbon if you wanted to. And I am going to actually tape this just because I want to make sure it doesn't move when it goes through. Okay. Stamping your paper program. You can absolutely do that, Kathy, but sometimes when I'm doing it here, because I have limited space, that's the only reason I don't do it. And I think there's a teeny bit of my happy birthday stuck in this, like the words, but thankfully it's right in the groove there, so you can't really tell. So I have another thing I'm going to do to add something to it. You could definitely do the step technique. That is 100% effective thing to do. I'm going to grab my gray granite. No, this is basic gray. And I'm just going to go around the edge because it also will make it stick out a little bit more color-wise. Okay. All right. So now all we have to do is put this together. We even have like these little sprigs. We could add something like this to it as well if you wanted to, because it's not really like super girly. It's definitely not girly. Leaves, because dudes like leaves, you know.
All right, so I'm going to put some adhesive here, kind of in the center, but I'm also going to go right around here, right up there. Okay, and I went a little bit out there, but that's okay. I'm going to turn this. Okay, just like so. All right, now I'm going to add this in. Again, you want to make sure you have a good amount of adhesive on these because they do have a lot of grooves in them. Like that. Give it a press. Just make sure you hang on to it for a second. So let's just take a peek before we finish this because we could certainly add, we could even die cut some gray. I think would be really pretty. I like that. We're going to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this one straight down. I was originally going to put this up on dimensionals, but I'm going to keep this one flat. And since we do have that little die cut spot in the middle, I'm just making sure I put a significant amount of adhesive. Okay. And we said we wanted to go like this. That looks good. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. Just on the back. Put that together. Make sure that looks still pretty good. I'm going to go down a little bit, down and over a smidge. Okay, then flipping that gently, I'm going to pop some dimensionals onto this. I usually like to put at least one that's kind of anchoring the two pieces together. So like this one is holding them together as is that one. One more here. I think that's probably plenty. You could add some little ones if you wanted to up top here too. So just depends on what you like to do. On if you're hand delivering it, if you're mailing it. If you're mailing it, you probably want to go the extra step and add another extra dimensional so it still kind of stays lifted. It doesn't get smushed to pieces through the mail. If they get it at all these days, right? So there's that. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So last but not least, I do want to finish the inside. So we're going to put, we have this piece here. Okay, where was the other thing? So how about if we just do on this one, this would be really cool, but I feel like if I do this, it's going to be overtaking because you could put this here in the center. And then you could do, it's a good day. You could even do like, thanks for everything you do. Let's save this one because I feel like I'm going to do too much on this card. So let's not. Instead, we'll do this. We will do, it's a good day. Where's my gray? Okay, and hold on, I got one more little doodly-doo I want to add in here. I have some little screws, so we'll just put these. Oh my goodness, my stomach is growling now, and I'm looking, I'm kind of like, no, I think I still did okay. I thought once I put my little screws on there, you were going to see that I did it kind of backwards. You know, it's like I just want to add this because I want to do it in light. So you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Hold on. Let me get my thing here. You know, the girl who can't leave well enough alone. I'm going to add. Hold on. Let's add this. I am going to need that little piece because I'm going to stamp off. So let's see. We're going to put this. I'm going to put this so it's kind of up against something because that gives me better balancing. You want this in the center, kind of like that. Looks pretty good. Pick that up. All right, I'm going to move this here so I make sure it does not move. Light color. I'm going to go with gray granite because that's pretty light. So, gray granite. But I'm going to be smart, and before I do it the first time, I'm going to stamp it just to see. Look at that. I actually got an empty sheet of paper. That never happens. Yeah, so I missed that part there. All right, I'm going to do this because it's stamped off. Ah, that looks cool. You could certainly do it over the entire thing, but it looks cool just because it has a little bit of riveting. I probably should have now saved my nails for the other thing, but that's okay. We're going to go with it. And this will be the wrap up to our second card. I have so many more cards to share and card ideas now that I pulled this out. However, I only have so much time, but we are off of school for now. So what I can do is, hopefully, I'm thinking maybe I can get some more videos in, just some quick videos even, and say, here's this one card we're going to make together, and I also made all these other ones with it. So I think that little added wood panel is pretty cool. My grandfather would love this card because he was a carpenter. He did all kinds of wood making things. He would love that. And the paper, like I said, it is pretty. It's not even that it's like it's not too pretty. It's not too girly. It really looks nice. It's a very frosty. It kind of looks like frosted wood outside. It is really nice. So I hope you guys will give this a look when you finally get to order out of that catalog. I believe it is January 5th, I think. Hold on, I have it right here. Let me tell you so you know. And one other thing I wanted to share with you before we hang up here. January 5th, yep. So if you don't have a copy of this, if you don't have a demonstrator, let me know. I'll send you one. I wanted to show you this gold mica flake only because I did not expect it to be this big. Look how big this jar is. I thought it was going to be like one of the little, like the little embossing powder. I was not prepared for the size of this. So this is going to work with the heat and stick powder. So I'm really excited. It's gold leafing. So I'm assuming it's a foil. You're not supposed to go fishing when you're using it. I'm just kidding. I think it means to say that you don't want to dump it, but I'm going to open it. I'm guessing there's probably, oh no, there's not a lid. Well, look at that. It's really pretty. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's super soft. So I'm looking forward to using that. It's probably not great to use if you're in a really staticky environment, but the heat and stick powder came back. So hopefully you still have yours. You don't have to order a new one, but the heat and stick powder came back. Then you'll put this on there and then heat it to set it. So I'm excited to use some of this too, because this is something I've never used before. So it'd be really fun. This will be my first time. It's kind of like the pearlized paper. I was actually looking at the pearlized paper last night online, looking at other, just like general information about it to see if there was something that said like, you know, do not do this with it, or these are some good ideas. And that's when the die cutting thing came to me. And I was like, that's not die cutting, the embossing. I was like, that is a brilliant idea for that. Really does make it sparkle. So I hope you guys enjoyed these two cards. Again, they're kind of wintry. They're not really like Christmas snow wintry, but you know, they're wintry nonetheless. I think this paper really does give it a nice wintry feel. I'm going to just, you dumped yours in a Tupperware container. That's a good idea, Teresa. Did you hit it with your like embossing buddy before you did that? Because I imagine it probably would stick to Tupperware too, because it is really seems to be very like static, dry, floaty. I'm going to check the comments just before we disconnect, because I know sometimes you guys ask questions and I miss them. So let me just make sure. Oh, hi, Carol from Connecticut. Thank you for joining. And Kathy's a snowy Ohio. You know, it looked like it was going to snow yesterday all day here in Maryland. We didn't get any snow. It was really overcast. The sun didn't come out until it was like close to setting. But they say we may get some snow flurries on Christmas, which will be really exciting. I cannot even remember the last time it snowed on Christmas. However, the day before it's going to be 51 degrees. So you know how that is. Oh, Terry, you do a Poitek. That's awesome. I will think of you, Terry, when we're doing it this year. That's so cool. As a matter of fact, Terry, I have some relatives in Poland. This is going to be a really quick version of a long story. I don't really know exactly how they're related to us. My mom and my grandmother used to write back and forth. I finally sent them a letter last year to say like, hey, are there still people here at this address that we know? They don't know how they know me either. So I think they think I don't think they know what to think. But anyway, they mailed me some of Protect from Poland, which I thought was really amazing. And it is so much thinner than what we have here in the United States. Theirs is really like, you can see through it. It's so thin. It's like looking at vellum. It's crazy. Okay, so you do Christmas, yeah, Christmas weight. I knew, Kathy, I knew you did. Am I going to buy a new die cutter? So I do have the mini, Karen, but I'm not buying the big one because my Big Shot still works, so I can't afford to buy a new one. Subtles is a wonderful folder. It is one of my favorites. You can do like so many things with that. It's a great one. Never was the crafting in the PJs. Yeah, this is my winter uniform. Okay. All right. And this, we did Mary Merlot and just Jade. I see that somebody asked that question. Jean asked that question. And I think that's it. I think I'm almost caught up. Yes, this is the pearlescent paper. It is beautiful. The trees, we did that one. I answered that one. Kathy signing off. Diana, you know it's always here for the replay. Okay. So, it does, yes, you're careful. It does have a life of its own. It kind of seems like it would stick to everything. So I think we're just going to have to be, I think we're going to have to be careful with that. Oh, hold on, my thing paused. There we go. Was almost out of battery. That's why I held up like that. So you may see me before Christmas. I think I still might try to do a live next Wednesday morning, and that'll probably be my last one because we'll be in Christmas mode. So I kind of guess it just depends because that'll be Christmas Eve. So I'm going to try to go live next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. since we're off. And then I'll see about doing the live the following Wednesday, which will be New Year's Eve, just because it'll be something fun. But besides that, I'm not going to say I'm going to commit to anything. You may see me. So make sure you turn on your notifications for Facebook and for YouTube. Again, if you missed it in the beginning, go back and watch. There is some information on the 12 Days of Christmas giveaways. It will be afterwards. You just have to make sure that you subscribe here to my YouTube channel, that you like it. There's a little form. It'll tell you everything you have to do. Otherwise, thank you guys so very much for joining me again. I hope you learned something today or try something fun once you finish up today. And if I don't see you, if you happen to not be able to join me, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a safe and happy, healthy holiday, including New Year's. And let's hear it for a better 2021. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do truly appreciate you. I love crafting with all of you so much. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.